Let's predict everything. We're going to go through every single division, and I want to know how much you agree with everything that I'm about to say to you. I have one caveat. I need to be very clear here. These two leagues, National League and American League, are wildly different in terms of competitiveness, top heaviness, and like parity. Crazy. I've never seen an American League have this much parity with this many teams that could do something. And in the NL side, we have some teams that are fully formed, ready to go on a run, and there's more than just the Dodgers. So keep that in mind as we go through these, because we are starting with the AL West. In fifth place in the AL West. No cell phones and not very many wins. The Los Angeles Angels will be your fifth place team, and they will end the year with a 71-91 record with their team MVP being Logan O'Hoppe. This guy's going to produce a little bit, get a little bit better. He's going to continue to improve as kind of the quarterback of the team. I mean, he's not going to he hit 20 homers last year. He had 74 RBIs. He's quickly becoming one of the better catchers in the American League. So I'm going to give him the team MVP. In fourth place in the AL West, the redacted Athletics end the year 78-82, just missing 500. And Lawrence Butler is their MVP. It could be him or Rooker, in my opinion. But I'm going to go with the young buck. He's been talking a lot in spring. He got that extension. He's just kind of got energy. So your Nomad A's will take fourth this year, but put on a little bit of a better show. In number third, unfortunately, Seattle Mariners are going to kind of just settle right into where they settled into last year. They brought back Jorge Polanco and added Donovan Solano, and then did nothing else for the whole offseason after missing the playoffs by one game and losing a 10-game lead in the division to the Houston Astros. Unfortunately, I see them doing a lot of the same stuff, especially with George Kirby being behind schedule here. You can't just depend on throwing 6 starting pitchers for the entire season again. 82-80, and I think Julio Rodriguez takes another step. I think the power numbers go up a little bit this year. Hopefully, though, it's not all on him. Number 2, Astros. Yep. I am concerned about putting a rookie third baseman in right field and then Jose Altuve in left to start the year. As someone who shagged fly balls for the last day of my career and dropped 3 of the 4, I can attest it's hard as hell. It's not really fair to him that he has to do that. I'm a huge Jose Altuve fan. Could not get that guy out. He's also leading off, and he's got to run from left to hit. I think it's going to be hard for Altuve to produce at a high level, especially at 35 years old. But Hunter Brown, I believe, is going to be, in my opinion, their MVP of the year. I think that the word Cy Young will be mentioned around his name at times. I don't think he's quite there yet, but the way he finished last year and how strong it was, and he's a dog, and he wants to be great. And number 1, we have the Texas Rangers. I know they kind of disappeared last year. I don't feel like Marcus Semien and Corey Seager are going to stay down too long. I think they're going to score a bunch of points. The starting pitching is a concern for me because all of them have spent a lot of time being hurt recently, but potentially a phenomenal offense. 91-71. Corey Seager is going to be their dog once again. But if Jake DeGrom's Jake DeGrom, I mean, he's 37. But if he throws 150 innings, he's not going to have a bad year. Moving on to the AL Central. It's the time you've all been waiting for. This sucked. It's not at baseball. Predicted. In fifth place, Chicago White Sox. You guys with me? I have them being 52 and 110 on the record. You can't see there's supposed to be an outline of Barry Bonds here, but it says player to be named later. That's going to be their MVP. Someone who's not on the team right now. Number 4, Kansas City Royals. I think they're going to have some really outstanding performances. I just think it's going to be this grindy thing at the end. I think I have 5 games or maybe 6 games separating the top 4 teams in this division, just missing the playoffs. With an 83-79 record, Bobby Witt Jr. is their MVP. Duh. Unfortunately, this is the way their team, at least from a hitting standpoint, is set up. If Bobby Witt Jr. misses any significant time, it's a little disjointed. This team could easily be 95 win, could easily win 90 games as well. I think that a 7-game swing either way is interesting. But if you're 83 and 79 and you take 4th, that's a pretty good division. Dude is always healthy, isn't he? Yeah, that's the thing. When you play 158 games a year, sometimes you run into a snag at some point. In number 3, I swapped these recently because of the loss of Royce Lewis. God, their injuries make me so sad, man. Royce Lewis, man. But I still have hope. But it's going to be very close. Though I do love the starting rotation. And I think the top 3 of these teams are all going to be vying all year. All these are interchangeable, okay? I have him 84 and 78, and I think Joe Ryan's going to be really good this year. Number 2, Detroit Tigers, 87 and 75. Riley Green, guy's a stud. In terms of damage numbers, he was top 15% in the league in almost everything. He had an 832 OPS. I think a full healthy year out of Riley Green. He's only 24 years old. He takes one more step forward. He's that high 800, 900 OPS guy. That's a true two-hitter. And then in the end, the Cleveland Guardians win it just because I can't ignore what they did last year and how good their bullpen is and how solid. It's just such a solid team. Andres Jimenez is going to hurt him. Josh Naylor, even though he had a down year last year, is going to hurt him being down. But like Carlos Santana's rock solid. They just added Nolan Jones for some thump. They will have Shane Bieber coming back. They'll be a little bit better in the starting rotation. They have lots of options and depth, and they just have really good pitching development. So even if their guys are average on paper, they're still probably going to have a pretty solid year, and it's a good place to hit. They're 89 and 73 winning the division, and of course, the perpetual 5th place MVP guy is going to be their MVP once again because he is their offense and has been for a while now. Now let's hit the AL East. In 5th place, the Shane McClanahan-less Tampa Bay Rays, another division. They don't have a Chicago White Sox. So top to bottom, going to be an absolute battle. I think Yandy Diaz is going to continue to be their best hitter. There's a couple tough things happening now. They're playing in Steinbrenner outside in Florida. That sucks. They only play like 16 games in July and August at home to avoid the heat in Florida. But being on the road for 75% of your games is also really hard to do. Toronto Blue Jays taking 4th. But again, we have the same thing as the Central. Like any of these teams could be flip-flopping, swapping. Bo Bichette has a great year, and suddenly now they're vying for the division. Like it's possible. They have Max Scherzer now. It's possible. 83 and 79. I'm being optimistic here. Vlad Guerrero is their MVP. He's the guy their offense revolves around, and they depend on him. So, duh. Number 3, New York Yankees have fallen in 3rd place and probably just missed the playoffs. Sorry, guys. Lose Garrett Cole and lose Heel out of the gate. That's their 1 and 3 pitchers. Like, that stinks. Still kind of the question marks around third base. We don't know when Stan's coming back. I just have this horrible feeling that it's going to be Judge or nothing again. I remember this stat from 2 or 3 years ago. When he was out, they were the Pittsburgh Pirates in offense. When he was in, they were the Yankees. If you have to lean that heavily on one guy, it's usually not a great sign. 85 and 79, and their 2 MVPs are Aaron Judge. And I think Max Fried, if Garrett Cole's here, it would just be Aaron Judge. But now they really need Max Fried to be an ace. They need it. Number 2, Baltimore Orioles. I know, can't give them the division this year. I can't. They really disappointed me in the offseason. They should have got a starting pitcher, but they still have that young crew. And they also have a good culture. This crew together has played well pretty much the whole time they've been together. But I believe this is just an 88 and 74, and they sneak through it because the entire division beats each other up. And Adley manages the veteran pitching staff and has a pretty good year at the plate. But at the end of the day, that lack of a true ace at the top of the rotation is going to end up burning them. As the Boston Red Sox take the AL East.
What year is it?
Yeah, I know. Everyone's having this hot take. They're just deep. And I'm really excited about the big 3 guys. Boston Red Sox are starting to get excited about because when they're good, the division's fun to watch. 90 and 72 winning the division. Garrett Crochet is the difference maker for them. A true ace, top of the rotation. And then now Houck and Cutter Crawford and Brian Bayo and all the other guys are going to try to start in that rotation can kind of filter in behind him, but he can be the guy that goes out and punches out 12 and 6 innings. NL West, we got to do the obvious one first. In 5th place, the Colorado Rockies, the Fighting Dick Monforts. They're going to go 66 and 96. Ezekiel Tovar will end up being their MVP this year. I think he's a stud. A lot to look forward to. I think these guys really want to win. I just don't think they're being put in a position to do that very well. And number 4, San Francisco Giants. Again, high ceilings. How is this stuff going to work out? They added Adames. They added Verlander. They have Matt Chapman, who notoriously hates losing more than anyone on the planet, but I have them going just under 500. I believe it's 79 and 83, and Matt Chapman is their MVP. Sorry, 82 and 80. I have San Francisco. The San Diego Padres. I know if you squint, it's brown. Sorry. It's a lot of the same guys. Dylan Cease, Michael King at the top of the rotation with Yu Darvish. I mean, they still have Bogarts and Manny. And then we have Fernando Tatis is their MVP, and they're 88 and 74, just on the outside looking in. For the top 2 in the division, that's the Arizona Diamondbacks coming in second. Surprise. Adding Corbin Burns is huge. Now they have their true ace. They got Josh Naylor to play first. The guy's got energy, and I think he's going to do well in Arizona. We talked about Brandon Pfaadt last week, though he has a 5-year rate for his career. He threw 181 innings last year, which if you get 180 innings out of your 5 starter, you're in a good spot. Ketel Marte, freaking Corbin Carroll, like they're just good, man. At a 91 and 71, they take second. Ketel Marte is their MVP, close to the Jose Ramirez of the NL, in my opinion. And the number 1 team is Los Angeles Dodgers. Everyone fall asleep with me. They're going to be 106 and 56, and Shohei Ohtani is their MVP and maybe the MVP of the league. If he pitches well and hits well, he's going to be the MVP of the NL, and it's annoying. All right, wake up. We're going to get into the Central now. In 5th place, St. Louis Cardinals. They're not rebuilding. They're just pausing, guys. Haven't really done much. Been talking about trying to get rid of Arenado. They let Goldschmidt leave. They've kind of just grabbed all the pieces and putting together a major league team. Though they do have some young guys who need to take the reins of this team if they want to be good into the future. And their MVP is going to be Mason Wynn. He was 3rd on the team in hits last year. I know he didn't hit much in spring this year, but I think they should just let it ride. Let him go out there and play. We don't need to micromanage him. We're not going to win a lot of games this year. Pittsburgh Pirates in 4th place. Guys, trust me, I really want them to not be. I'm a huge Derek Shelton fan. I love that man. Their starting pitching is getting much better. They've got these young studs coming up that are great. They just need to score some gosh darn runs. Paul Skeens, MVP. They're going to end up 78 and 84. Moving on, Cincinnati Reds take 3rd place with a 500 record, 81-81. Ellie De La Cruz is their MVP. Though I think Matt McClain coming back is going to make them better. I just want to see what that starting pitching is going to do. Is Hunter Green going to post again? I think he is. But what are we going to get in the back end of the rotation? What are we going to get in the bullpen? And how are we going to score runs? Because they strike out kind of a lot. But Terry Francona's there. So who knows? Tito might make the turnaround quick. Chicago Cubs number 2. I love the Kyle Tucker trade. I love that they grabbed that guy. I know he started slow in spring, but he's always a slow starter. Then he just absolutely rakes. I think they're in a good position. Kyle Tucker's going to be their MVP, 85 and 77. I think Ian Happ's going to have another good year. Justin Steele, Imanaga, and Taillon are going to be good at the front of the rotation. They're consistent. They're solid. It's been a while since the Cubs were in the running, so I want to see a little bit better game out of them. And number 1, Milwaukee Brewers. Yeah, I learned my lesson. Last year I said Milwaukee's going to take like last. I'm an idiot. Milwaukee's always there. And it's not based on anything, right? And their MVP is going to be Christian Yelich. Well, they need him to be. Back feels better. Hopefully this is not something that keeps hurting them all year, and they end up 90 and 72 taking the Central Division. And the NL East, last but not least, NL East. In 5th place, Miami Marlins. You know why. Not a lot going on there. They are just trying to get as many prospects as they can. Their MVP is going to be Sandy Alcantara on their way to a 70 and 92 record. However, Sandy will be gone at the end of July, but he still will be the MVP. The Sandy Alcantara sweepstakes is going to be really interesting to see in July. In 4th, we got the Washington Nationals holding it down in their traditional spot at the moment because the top 3 in this division are stacked as hell. But I think the guy who's going to be the biggest producer overall for the team, that's James Wood. He's potentially really special. That's a 78 and 84 record from the Washington Nationals. In 3rd place, the Atlanta Braves, but just barely. Stay with me here. Atlanta Braves take 3rd only because of the delay of getting Acuna and Strider back. I think they're going to start a little bit slow, but I think their MVP, if they're about to have a good season, I think the guy who's going to need to produce, that's Mr. Austin Riley. I'm a huge Austin Riley fan as well. He needs to hit some homers. He needs to be kind of like their Ozuna was last year. Really good year. If you said no way Braves win the division, they're 90 and 72. So, I think these 3 teams are just going to be tied all year. In number 2, New York Mets, woo! 92 and 70, and Juan Soto's their MVP. Can I get a woo-woo? They get the job done at the end, fending off another team, and the division winner are your Philadelphia Phillies with a really good starting rotation. They're still super complete. Their team has a nice smattering of free agents. They spend a good amount of money, and they have homegrown talent. Bryson Stott, Bohm. I love Brandon Marsh now playing center. They added Max Kepler. I think they're a well put together team. They're going to be 94 and 68. Their MVP, Bryce Harper. Let's talk about some individual awards. AL Reliever of the Year, Mason Miller. Why? Because I want him to. In the NL, we have Justin Martinez. Like I mentioned, he's going to be a stud for Arizona this year. This kid is electric. So much fun to watch. He is a little wild. I think he's going to be better. He's only 22 years old. Your AL Rookie of the Year. Hot take, Christian Campbell. Yeah, I said it. Kristen Campbell, followed very closely by Jackson Jobe. I like Jackson Jobe. And I know Marcelo Meyer and those other guys are maybe highly touted a little higher, but I think he's the closest to making his debut. My assumption is these 2 guys are going to have the body of work to be in there for the award. So runner-up, Jackson Jobe in the AL. And in the NL, we have Roki Sasaki as your NL Rookie of the Year, followed really closely by Bubba Chandler, who comes up early for the Pittsburgh Pirates and shows Paul Skeens how to do it. In the AL, your Cy Young Award winner is Cole Reagans. He is this close. He's this close. He's so close. Followed closely by Tarek Skubal. Once again, I just don't, like, barring injury, Tarek Skubal is in his prime. It's also a platform year. He's going to go off. And also, he's just so motivated. There's just energy here. I love both of these celebrations, too. If you're not watching the video version of this, you need to. On the NL Cy Youngs, Paul Skeens is your winner, followed by Hunter Green. I'm going to say Hunter Green's going to be in there at the end. I think all these guys that are normally there will be there. But I just think Paul Skeens it's his to lose, and he's just, I don't know. It's one of those things where if he just throws it over the plate, he's fine. I have hot takes. What can I say? For your AL MVP, I know it's always Judge. This year, it's going to be Bobby Witt Jr. So I have the Royals taking fourth in the division, but they have the Cy Young Award winner and the MVP. Does that make sense? Yes, it does. Shut up. And your NL MVP is Juan Soto. Juan Soto is going to win it for another team that does not win their division. That's how I want my baseball to be. All right, so here's your playoffs. In the AL, your seeds are Rangers 1, Red Sox 2, Guardians 3, Orioles 4, Tigers 5, Astros 6. In NL, we have the Dodgers 1, Phillies 2, Brewers 3, Mets 4, D-backs 5, and Braves at 6. This is how it'll shake out. Guardians versus Astros, moving on against the Red Sox. We got Orioles versus Detroit. Orioles win that one in the wild cards. They go on to play Texas. Orioles end up beating Texas. Boston ends up beating the Guardians, and then Boston ends up going to the World Series on the AL side. On the NL side, we have Atlanta versus Milwaukee. Atlanta takes down Milwaukee in the first round, and then Arizona and the Mets in the other side wild card, with the Mets taking that one. The Mets take on the Dodgers. The Dodgers take their first series, and the Phillies take on the Braves and take them down once again to go to the NLCS. Inevitably, the Phillies make it to the World Series and take on the Boston Red Sox and your World Series champs. Partying like it's 2008, the Philadelphia Phillies. And no Yankees in the playoffs. Yes, I said that. I said it. Don't at me. It's perfect. Let me know down in the comments what you think about all this stuff.